As a UTC College of Business major, one of the first steps in your career development plan is to explore career outcomes you can expect from the majors within the business programs. Understanding early on the special considerations for jobs of interest, such as lifestyle, work culture, locale clusters, recommended certifications, and so on, will help you feel confident about your choice of major. Many students switch majors while in college. While that is okay and you shouldn't feel locked down while you're in school, not taking the time to research what various majors require from them and what jobs can result from a certain degree is a huge waste of time and money. So know what you're getting into. In the next few minutes, we will go into depth on each of the majors and help you decide what's right for you. We believe education is an investment, and we hope to help members of the College of Business community get their returns. First up, accounting. Accounting areas include public accounting, corporate accounting, government auditing, and education. So what does an accountant do all day? They prepare, examine, or analyze accounting records, financial statements, or other financial reports to assess accuracy, completeness, and conformance to reporting and procedural standards. They also report to management regarding the finances of an establishment. They develop, implement, modify, and document record-keeping and accounting systems, making use of current computer technologies. They also compute taxes owed and prepared tax returns, ensuring compliance with payment, reporting, or other tax requirements. Here's a description of the type of person who works out well as an accountant. First and foremost, they're conventional. There are set procedures and routines and a clear line of authority to follow. Secondly, they're enterprising. This position usually involves starting up and carrying out projects through to completion. They're detailed. Accountants know that the big story only comes together with the tiniest details in place. They have integrity. Being ethical and honest is the cornerstone of an accounting position, and this includes being highly dependable to fulfill all your obligations. If that means a 70-hour work week from time to time, so be it. And they are analytical. They use logic and deductive reasoning to address issues, and this is critical to being successful in the role. There are some things to reflect on if you decide to become an accounting major. First, every business needs an accountant, so this profession tends to be very stable. Secondly, sitting for the CPA exam is something every accounting student will want to consider. Earning your CPA license allows you to serve as a public accountant at a CPA firm. It also will allow for promotions in the future if going the corporate route. To sit for the CPA exam in Tennessee, you'll need to have 150 hours of academic credit under your belt. The undergraduate accounting degree at UTC provides 120 hours, so some students who aim to sit for the CPA exam decide to double major and proceed directly into a Master of Accountancy program. Related to this topic, careers can move from public accounting to corporate accounting quite easily. This type of shift is common, but people who start in cost accounting at a company can sometimes find it harder to move into public accounting later on in their careers, though it's not impossible. It is important to try on both corporate and public accounting roles through internships or job shadowing while you're in college to make the best choice for your career launch as you near graduation. So plan to engage in internships while you're in college. Not only is it vital to understand where your interests lay, but firms and companies look specifically to hire students who have real experience in the field. Another consideration to keep in mind is that companies and firms tend to seek accounting students who receive at least a 3.0 GPA for internships and employment. If you're looking for employment with a Big Four firm, 3.25 or 3.5, make sure that you're committed to getting a strong GPA in the accounting program, or you may find it to be somewhat of a struggle to find a good position following graduation. Finally, join Beta Alpha Psi once you're eligible for this honors society. It is a fantastic place to keep up on industry trends, get involved with the business community, and stay connected to important professionals in the field. What are the qualifications to become a BAP pledge? You'll need to have earned 30 or more credit hours, maintain a minimum GPA of 3.0, and successfully complete your first intermediate class in accounting, finance, or information systems. Next up, finance. We have two different majors in the College of Business focused on finance. One is finance investments, the other is business finance. We will talk about both here. Finance degrees can be leveraged in a myriad of ways. No matter the job title, however, finance majors will likely move into a role somewhere within the process of collecting, billing, or simply obtaining information on income and expenses, along with many other impacting variables. From there, one might prepare reports based on their findings, examine that information to forecast options, and determine strategies for meeting financial objectives, maintaining financial integrity, and reducing unnecessary risks through measures within the law and associated regulations. As you might imagine, in corporate positions, finance departments and accounting departments tend to work very closely together, and they share many common traits. Here is a description of the type of person who works out well in the field of finance. Like accountants, professionals in the field of finance tend to be conventional, detailed, with high ethical integrity, and have analytical perspectives. Additionally, finance professionals should feel comfortable with complexity, working through problems, understanding the ramifications of multiple variables, and be okay with searching for facts and thinking through processes without feeling overwhelmed by the amount of data which they are facing. They're also resolution-driven. They should be able to think through solutions to problems with a focus on anticipating problems before they begin and evaluating best options for when they do occur. They also need to be communicative, able to express oneself coherently and clearly through visual, verbal, and written forms. Also be able to listen for understanding from others in order to best determine all angles and probing for deeper understanding of a given situation. So what are the special considerations for the field of finance? First, an undergraduate degree in finance can get you started in the field, but very often more education or training is required to attain certain positions. MBAs, a CFA designation, or securities and insurance licenses are needed to get the position you might be striving for. Being a lifelong learner will be important. Secondly, location matters. There are hotspots where finance positions are more plentiful, particularly if you're interested in investments. Be prepared for a possible relocation as your career progresses. Also, many financial careers deviate from the typical 40 hours per week. Brace yourself for long hours when special projects arise. Deadlines can make it so you will need to be flexible with your working hours. Additionally, most financial careers require candidates that are technically savvy, so be sure to increase your comfort level in learning new software and being computer proficient in general. I often see requirements regarding advanced Excel skills. Read the Wall Street Journal regularly. This may seem like old-fashioned advice, but the Wall Street Journal is still the most influential financial media outlet available, and finance professionals worldwide still share this daily ritual. You will become fully aware of trends and global news in a way that will make you an insider that professionals you meet will be keenly aware of as you engage in conversation. This will definitely differentiate you from other emerging professionals they meet. You will show a passion for the field that exceeds classroom learning. And in finance, everyone wants a go-getter who stays ahead of the pack. In many cases, having a double major increases your marketability after graduation. Whether double majoring in accounting, economics, or a major outside of business like Spanish, you become more attractive as a candidate with the additional skills that you'll learn. Also, plan to engage in internships while you're in college. Not only is it vital to understand where your interests lay, but companies look specifically for students who have experience in finance before hiring them. And be sure to build a strong network while you're in school. Very often these networks are key to finding opportunities or building clientele following graduation. Finally, consider joining the Financial Management Association or the Trade Investment Club here at UTC once you're eligible. These clubs will help you get involved with the business community and stay connected to important professionals in the field. Economics is a social science that seeks to describe the factors which determine the production, distribution, and consumption of goods and services. The curriculum at UTC is designed to promote the development of analytical abilities and to present alternative ideological perceptions of theory and policy. The primary objective of the economics program is to develop the abilities of students to think critically and logically in their views on economic theories and issues. At the same time, the department focuses on the study of applied economics, which proves useful in employment opportunities. Employment areas within economics include government, public utilities, international agencies, manufacturing, research and consulting firms, banking and finance, insurance, education, and law. Economic degrees can be leveraged in a myriad of sectors where quantitative and analytical perspectives are required. More than 50% of economists work for local, state, or federal government or international agencies. Positions in the private sector also exist within manufacturing. So what describes a person who can work out well in economics? No matter the area that one moves into, there are a few work styles that are common across the board. First and foremost, economists are mathematically oriented. These are people who deeply value statistical and quantitative perspectives. They're technical. People who can pick up new technology easily and is eager to expand their technical skills will work out well. They are analytical and logical. They tend to see the big picture through the details that they gather. They are process-oriented. Compiling, coding, categorizing, calculating, tabulating, auditing, verifying information, this is all in a day's work. They're okay with complexity. They're comfortable with working through complex problems, understanding the ramifications of multiple variables, and they're okay with searching for facts and thinking through processes without being overwhelmed by a huge amount of data. They have strong reporting and presentation skills. Very often, economists are relied upon to make sense of trends and then communicating their findings to others. So being able to report findings in a manner tailored to an audience and presenting information in a clear and direct fashion can be imperative. Most private and many public sector roles require a master's or doctoral degree. Plan to specialize at the graduate level. And specialties within particular industries like healthcare or energy do matter, so consider concentrating your studies to be more marketable within specific fields. Supplement your undergraduate curriculum with courses, a minor or a double major in actuarial science, analytics, finance, computer sciences, or political science to be more marketable for internships and employment you are interested in. Speaking of which, plan to get at least one internship in your industry of interest or in government to be an easier hire upon graduation. Develop excellent quantitative, analytical, computer, and communication skills so that you can present findings to people with less technical backgrounds. The general management major at UTC is very popular. I think it's because it's a broad field that could be easily specialized. It's much more broad than accounting, right? As a manager of a retail store, for instance, your processes and scope will be very different than someone who is managing a manufacturing plant. At the end of the day, however, what any good manager does spans all industries. A manager initiates, enhances, and enforces procedures that are effective for their business. They are in control and responsible for their team. Managers can manage people, resources, projects, or operations. What does a manager do all day? Well, it's going to vary from field to field, but in general, they oversee activities related to making products or providing services. They review various reports to measure productivity, and they determine and direct change within the organization to improve their business. Here's a description of the type of person who works out well as a manager. They tend to be conventional. There are set procedures and routines and a clear line of authority. They're enterprising. The position almost always involves starting up and carrying out projects through to completion and managing that process. They are social. Managers frequently work and communicate with a variety of people and must be able to teach effectively. A manager should value relationships. Managers are detailed. They understand that success happens when the details are effective. Managers are good leaders. They will be required to take charge, offer opinions, give direction, and be the person who is, in the end, ultimately responsible. Managers should be able to exert strong self-control. Maintaining your composure, checking your emotions, controlling anger, and avoiding aggressive behavior, even in very difficult or tense situations, will be critical. They also show initiative. This job requires an eagerness to take on responsibilities and challenges. No one owns the business like the manager does. Finally, here are some things to consider if you become a management major. You'll want to consider the major industries in your location and specialize in a particular industry through internships or jobs. You'll increase your opportunities by taking courses in other majors, for instance, developing Spanish fluency. There are strong management trainee programs in many corporations. Explore these opportunities early before you need to apply for them so that you can understand what your options are. Join the Society for the Advancement of Management. It's a great club where there are wonderful speakers who come in all the time who will be invaluable contacts in the future. On to marketing. Marketing is a very interesting field because as a whole, it is the business of promoting products or services, the gap area that falls in between product development and delivery to the customer. But how one leverages this degree can vary greatly. Depending on the area a marketing major chooses to enter, what they do all day and what they will need to bring to the job will also vary greatly. Some marketing areas include sales, events and promotion, marketing research, advertising, digital marketing, purchasing and procurement, product and brand management. Sales folks will need excellent communication skills and persuasive techniques. Digital marketing requires a good deal of technical savvy and analytical ability. Event staff should be social and energetic. Purchasing requires strong negotiation skills. Marketing is a unique major for this reason and requires some exploration early on to decide your particular niche. So what describes a person who works out well in marketing? No matter the area of marketing one moves into, there are a few work styles that are common across the board. First and foremost is dependability. Most marketing positions are deadline driven, so it requires that one is reliable, responsible, highly organized, and timely. They need to tolerate stress well, be able to accept criticism, and deal calmly with ambiguous or high-stress situations. They also need to communicate very well. They're able to express themselves coherently and clearly through visual, verbal, or written forms. Being able to listen for understanding from others is imperative to best determine the direction of a project. Collaborative. There isn't a job in the marketing wheelhouse that does not require some form of collaboration, so establishing and maintaining relationships must be in your toolbox. Marketing requires analytical thinking as well. Marketing requires good data for decision making. You need to know your audience before even meeting them to make the sale happen, for instance. Creative. The bottom line to all marketing is making sales, so no matter your role, you need to be able to get to that finish line. Many times, exercising your creativity in promoting your product or making the actual sale is the difference between success and failure. Perhaps most importantly, in terms of things to consider for this degree, pursuing an internship and conducting informational interviews is vital to find the area of interest for you and start gaining some experience. Marketing tends to be a small department in even the largest corporation, so you will be more marketable if you have direct experience in the field on your resume. You will want to develop your persuasion and presentation skills. Become an eloquent speaker. No matter your role in marketing, you will need to be able to pitch your ideas confidently and clearly. Doing so takes practice. Know your social media tools and build an online portfolio. If you plan to be in a creative position, build your portfolio throughout your time in school so you aren't scrambling for content when asked for a portfolio by a potential employer. Only include your top work that really makes you proud and meets or exceeds professional standards. Samples can include social media content, website design and layout configurations, copywriting, press releases, graphic design, art, marketing collateral like brochures and advertisements. Really, any tangible evidence that you can serve proficiently in a marketing role can be included. Stay ahead of industry trends. Marketing is changing by leaps and bounds due to the internet, marketing analytics, and social media that is constantly evolving. Be ready to remain a lifelong learner to stay in the game. Consider a double major in graphic design or communications, or gain experience in website design. Join the American Marketing Association. It's a great group with fantastic topics that will keep you abreast of trends in the industry. Human resources. HR is a department of an organization that deals with the hiring, administration, and training of personnel. Great human resource managers know how to best engage with staff and collaborate with management to build a stronger organization. HR areas include administration, recruiting and staffing, training and development, employee engagement and programs, as well as organizational analysis. So what does one do if they're in HR? HR responsibilities include payroll, benefits, recruiting, interviewing, hiring, onboarding, training, firing, maintaining personnel records, and keeping up to date with state and federal tax and employment laws, certifications. It's a very extensive list. However, HR extends beyond this day-to-day work to keep an organization running smoothly, to include employee and community engagement, to develop a reputation in the community and build employee morale, or analyzing the company's job titles, equal employment and demographics, or benefits, to ensure equity and strong business practices. More and more often we see HR finding a place at the executive table for the simple reason that they monitor an organization's internal health and can offer great insight and solutions to keep it progressive. So what describes a person who works out well in human resources? They're great critical thinkers. They use logic and reason quickly to identify strengths and weaknesses of alternative solutions or conclusions. They have high integrity. The ability to keep information confidential is paramount to being an ethical HR professional. You have a lot of access and you must be able to manage that professionally. Stress tolerance. Being able to provide constructive criticism and dealing calmly with high-stress situations is going to be important. Additionally, communication is important. If you're able to express yourself coherently and clearly through visual, verbal, and written forms, and also to listen to others in order to best determine all angles of a situation. HR people tend to be perceptive. They're good at understanding and anticipating needs of others and figuring out how to navigate through sticky situations with poise. Perceptive people are insightful and intelligent, on the verge of intuitive in nature. HR people tend to be highly collaborative. Recruiting especially requires a great deal of internal collaboration and social skills, but no HR department functions in and of itself. The entire team's focus is relational, so establishing and maintaining relationships must also be front and center. There are some special considerations if you decide to become an HR member. Be ready to wear multiple hats. HR roles tend to fluctuate. Being able to raise your hand and step up when new projects arise is a great thing to be able to do. Like marketing, HR departments, even in large corporations, tend to be small. Get experience through internships to be marketable upon graduation. Practice getting outside of your comfort zone. That's something that an HR professional, no matter where they land within their department in terms of function, is going to be required to do. Stretch beyond what you have been confronted with before with grace. Develop teaching skills. This is going to be really helpful for people who are interested in training and development, but every HR professional at some point or another is a teacher. Take some IO Psych courses if it's possible. Those courses are extremely valuable on your transcript. Join UTC SHRM and the local SHRM chapter. This is going to be your best way to connect with HR professionals. These are great contacts to develop while you're still a student. We have a vibrant SHRM chapter at UTC and in Chattanooga. We're coming down the stretch. Next up is business analytics. Business analytics refers to the skills, technologies, and practices for repetitious and methodical exploration of data detailing past business performance for analysis to gain insight, derive options, and drive future business planning. Any company that is committed to data-driven decision-making has business analysts on staff. So what does one do all day if they are in business analytics or business intelligence? It really depends where they fall within the analysis and information cycle of a company. Descriptive analytics uses data analysis to answer the question, what is happening now? Diagnostic analytics answers the question, why is it happening? Predictive analytics answers the question, what is likely to happen next? And prescriptive analytics answers the questions, what are we going to do about that? Then the cycle begins again from there. In all stages, companies analyze competitive marketing strategies through analysis of related products, markets, or trends. Analysts synthesize current business intelligence or trend data to support recommendations for actions. Analysts communicate with customers, competitors, suppliers, or others to stay abreast of industry or business trends. They also collect business and intelligence data from available industry reports, public information, field reports, or purchase sources. Business analysts also manage the timely flow of business intelligence information to others. Business analysts are a very specific type of person. They are mathematically oriented. These are people who deeply value statistical and quantitative perspectives. They're technical, people who can pick up technology easily and are eager to expand their technical skills. They tend to be conventional. They are set procedures and routines and a clear line of authority to follow. Analysts tend to be highly methodical in their approaches as well. They're adaptable. Because this field is somewhat emergent and highly determined by technical progress, people in business analytics tend to be nimble and flexible in order to stay relevant. They're okay with complexity and investigation. One should be comfortable with working through complex programs and be okay with searching for facts and thinking through processes. Analysts are detailed and are dedicated to being thorough in their tasks. They're also highly communicative. Very often, business analysts need to collaborate with many different departments, so being able to tailor your message to a specialized audience in a comprehensive manner is a critical skill. They tend to be considered the liaison between IT and the business side of an organization. Finally, here are some things to consider if you decide to become an analytics major. You'll want to seek broad exposure to hone your statistical and quantitative skills through internships and projects. Having applied experience in analytics is vital in order to join business teams. The industries that you would be analyzing are usually determined through your location. For instance, in Chattanooga, industries include insurance, public utility, healthcare, and logistics as the most common fields. Certifications are important. You'll want to stay on top of those, particularly if you can code. If you can code, this is going to make you much more hireable consider doing a minor in computer sciences or learn on your own through an online teaching platform. Stay up to date on industry shifts. As I mentioned, this is a growing field. It's very young, and you'll want to stay nimble about new trends. Going back to the idea of computer programming, if you know that there is a company that you're interested in, try and do some research around the programming that they use in order to find out which one you should hone in on to become more marketable. Entrepreneurship majors are a special breed. We have a great entrepreneurship program here at UTC and a unique opportunity being located in Chattanooga. President Obama called Chattanooga a tornado of innovation due to its unique and robust entrepreneurial infrastructure. Chief Executive Magazine hails it as one of the 5 best U.S. cities for growing manufacturing businesses. Chattanooga was also ranked as the 4th best U.S. city to start a business, a place to maximize chances for long-term prosperity. UTC is a practical choice for individuals planning to run their own businesses. As an entrepreneurship major, students learn how to start or acquire a business, write a successful business plan, develop new products and services, manage limited resources, attract venture funding and startup funding, identify new business opportunities, and lead strong entrepreneurial teams. Students will also benefit from the insight and experience of the area's most successful entrepreneurs who partner with UTC to ensure that fresh minds are exposed to tried and true principles. Students receive a foundation in critical aspects of business, such as marketing, accounting, management, and finance, with a more in-depth understanding of entrepreneurship with topics like cash flow management, creativity and innovation, and business plans for new ventures. This skill can be used to become a discerning business owner or leveraged in a variety of career paths, for instance, management, real estate, and sales and promotions. The characteristics of someone who does well as an entrepreneur is very different than you'll find across other business majors. First and foremost, entrepreneurs have a vision. They have a plan and they know where they're heading. They're persistent and perseverant. Entrepreneurs are tenacious and driven. They do not give up, and they're able to recover from setbacks without losing sight of the main goal. Failure is another step towards eventual success in their minds. They have focus and will make many sacrifices to find their success. Entrepreneurs are adaptable. They think quickly on their feet and can be flexible with plans as long as the shifts drive results. They're creative, one who has imagination, passion, and vision to do things in a fashion other than the norm. They're inspired by new ideas. Innovation in and of itself is a virtue. They're resourceful. They see gaps others just assume have to exist as opportunities to create something new and better, and they are good at finding ways to make that vision into reality. They're strategic. They see the long-term goal and aim to achieve it incrementally. They carefully design their actions to gain the advantage, and they're collaborative. Creating a new business takes many talents, and oftentimes one person cannot do it all alone. Entrepreneurs use strong leadership skills to inspire others to contribute to their project and draw out their talents to make the collaboration possible. They communicate expressively and clearly to ensure everyone is on the same page and understands the unique and vital part that they play. They truly value others in their team. If you are an entrepreneurship major, there are some things to consider. First, have realistic expectations, a plan in place, and take it one step at a time. Trying to rush towards the end goal without a model in place will likely cause discouragement. Develop excellent written and oral communication skills. Be strategic in participating in internships that will assist in reaching your end goals, either through the experience itself or through the networking opportunities that are afforded through that experience. Obtain leadership roles on campus, and this will help nurture your level of confidence as well as your communication skills. Be extremely active in UTC CEO Club. This club is very unique. There are many opportunities to do things such as pitch your business, get prize money to start businesses, engage in conferences that bring regional entrepreneurs together, connect with the Chattanooga community. Honestly, the advantages are so numerous, I can't really discuss them all here. So certainly if you're planning to be an entrepreneur, seek membership in the UTC CEO Club. So how do you decide? After all, you can't get very far in meeting your goals without knowing your goals. This first stage in career development, determining what you want to do professionally for your life, is a huge question, and it's one whose answer doesn't come very easily. There are many variables that surround an ideal career fit, and that should be mindfully addressed prior to taking action academically or professionally. Take the time now to understand your motivations, honor your values, recognize your strengths, and consider your future. UTC and the College of Business has many resources in order to help you make your decisions. The staff of the DeCosimo Success Center want to support you as you take strides toward your graduation and your career launch. We hope we've encouraged you to think through the majors available to you as a business student at UTC and the steps you should take to develop a successful career. We also included some helpful materials on the left side of this webpage to also support you. The staff of the DeCosimo Success Center, located right here in Fletcher Hall, is available to help you on your journey in becoming business world ready. So come to us support when you need. Thanks so much, and we hope to see you soon.